Hello everyone, this is Irene from Living Books Homeschooling. I'm homeschooling my two boys who are in 3rd and 6th grade this year. We are using Ambleside Online, which is a Charlotte Mason curriculum. My younger one is starting year 4 and my older one is finishing year 5. In our last video, I just did a term recap, and I mainly mentioned the living books we are using with AO for their history, science, literature. I also mentioned their math curriculum. So all the living books part of our homeschool, but I left out the riches like art, and other non-book resources we are using in our homeschool, and that's an important part of Charlotte Mason education too. So I want to do a recap about those areas in this video. First, let me go through the riches that AO schedules daily or weekly. Copy work, I talk about that with language arts, written narration, grammar in the last video, but I didn't mention recitation. AO schedules 1 poem and 1 Bible passage per term, but we are reading the Bible together during family worship, not following AO like year 4 or year 5 schedule. So we are doing our own Bible verses too during family worship. That is our recitation for now. And hymns, that's weekly work. So AO suggests 1 hymn per month, but we are doing 4 to 5 days of singing during family worship. So I'm actually following this book. It has 150 hymns with their stories. I love the stories, but I'm just looking up the hymns, and we sing them until we are familiar and move on to the next one. So we are doing hymns. So let me talk about music at the same time. We just started folk song because English is not my first language. I love reading books, but maybe because I'm not a music person, and in English it's harder for me to understand, so I postponed folk song for a long while. Then I was wanting to get it in. I started with Chinese folk song, which I loved. I hope they loved too, but I got to introduce Chinese folk song that I'm familiar with to my boys, so that was cool. Then I discovered this YouTube playlist so for AO folk songs. So now we are listening to this, and maybe because with reading all the hard books, I can understand suddenly, and they definitely can understand. Sometimes it's still harder for me, but they can understand and they'll tell me what's happening, and they are really enjoying this. So we are doing English and Chinese folk song. This is a new favorite in our days. But I haven't started composer study yet. I know that could be easy too. I can just play it during, I know some families play it during mealtime or like when driving in the car. but I'm reading Chinese history to them now during mealtime, and we're listening to free reads, audiobooks on the car. So, but it doesn't have to be a lot. It's weekly, once per week. So I can just decide like Monday, we'll just on the car, we'll listen to our composer piece. So I should start that. It's because that's something that was lacking in my own education and the whole music part. So it's a little intimidating to me, but we can just listen to it. It's not like it says I don't have to explain, or we don't even have to read the bio in too much details. So we can just start listening to it. And then foreign language, we are doing Spanish using ULAT, and I really like the philosophy. It's not like translating from English to Spanish, but that's do. So it shows you a picture and the sound, that's the whole sentence. And you learn like verbs. This means play, like play a sport. And then you can, with several pictures, you say the sentence. So it's trying to and at first there's no reading, it's listening, repeating, speaking with gestures. So I think it's mimicking how a child, a baby, learns a language, like in like immersion like style. And then later on we will have reading and writing added in. So I like it gets you to think in Spanish instead of like with Duolingo, you translate each word and sentence. You constantly translate between English and Spanish. I prefer this immersion style. For more immersion, they also watch salsa in Spanish on YouTube, and I found this playlist. It says bilingual, it's just it can have English subtitle, but we just listen to Spanish with Spanish subtitle, and it's easy stories. So with those, they can have more immersion. But we are not doing Latin. AO recommends starting Latin in year 4, but we are not, and I don't think in the near future we may not do Latin, because we are bilingual family, and with all the AO books, the riches, math, the whole curriculum. In addition to that, I'm also teaching them Chinese reading, and Chinese history and culture. That takes time too. And we are learning Spanish. So we just really don't have time for Latin. And Spanish is actually, it has a lot of Latin roots, even more than English. So maybe that compensates a little. And I have this English from the roots up, like pointing out Greek or Latin roots in English words. We might just use that at some point to do more word study. But we are not doing Latin. They are learning piano a little. Then picture study. We are just doing this on AO website. It has artists by term, and you can just click and it goes to that week's picture, and we just look at it and do the picture study. But I love pictures, and you can see I love impressionism. So when there's a library book sale, I got a lot of art museum books. This one is just on impressionism. That one, mother, that's big pictures to different styles. So I chose books with large pictures. We could use these for picture study too. That is from a museum too. And we alternate between the AO artists or Western art and Chinese art. I got this set, that's a 4th book, but it goes through the different dynasties. So that's different dynasties, and you can see the different style. This one is with people, they grouped with theme, that's flowers and animals. And this one is buildings, and I have a 4th one. I think it's on the table. It's on the mountains, like landscape. Timeline, that is something we haven't done well. They are supposed to do timeline before year 4 and Book of Centuries after year 4. But for now, we are mainly doing this in our head. Like when we read a story, we try to locate it in the timeline, especially since I'm reading Chinese history too. So when I read about something, I will ask, they want to ask too. For example, when William the Conqueror is in England, what dynasty is it in China? Or when we read about Han Dynasty, that's during Roman Empire. So we try to make connections and have a kind of a timeline of where to locate different books, like AO books or Chinese books we read. But we haven't like written it down or done a Book of Centuries. Geography, when we read books, we would find the location on the maps, world map, US or China map. So I read Chinese books, we will find that place on the map too. And then we use stack the countries, stack the states, and etc. for map drill practice. So we are not, it's like when we read books, we are not spending a lot of time on geography neither. Nature study, that is really a huge part of science in AO or any Charlotte Mason curriculum. But they are mainly getting that with Dad on Saturdays or Sunday afternoons. And on Saturdays, they almost always go on trails. And my husband is a plant pathologist, so they are all nature person. They love trees, plants, insects, birds, mushrooms. So he's teaching a lot of that, just recognizing, naming them when they see them on the trails to the boys, and they have passionate conversations about it. So I'm considering that nature study. So I'm really grateful my husband can fill in that area, because I'm not, I love going on the trails, but if you have been following us, you may have heard in my previous videos, I have kidney issues, and my body, I just can't do a lot of things, and I can be tired or like walk for too long. So that's one limitation. And I really need a like routine to finish our days. If I know some families just designate one morning to nature study, but if we, well, in the afternoon it's possible, but again, it's my physical condition that doesn't allow it most of the times. But if we go out in the morning, we might not finish other school subjects. So we really need to focus on other like math, reading, those subjects in the morning. And with my condition, so nature study is mainly done during weekends with my husband. That is most of the riches. And some other things we do currently, they are learning typing with typing.com. It's going well, and after they finish with that, there's a website, TypeLit, and I plan to have them use this one. For example, Alice in Wonderland, that's not a lot of pages, and Animal Farm, that's a year 6 book that my older one will read very soon. So maybe they can start typing this. You just type the book. So I love this idea. They can keep practicing with those literature books. It also schedules one poem per day, and that we also just do it on AO website. There are links. We can just go to year 4 poems and read one poem per day. We do that during morning time, so they each read one poem of their year. And math games, we play a lot of games to learn math in a fun way, like check the fridge, clumsy thief, prime numbers, prime clumb. Assumedly that's you use addition, etc. to get the number in the middle. I'll put a link in the description. I made a video to show all those games and a few others. I really love this. By the way, that's a game to learn Chinese geography. You have to use plane tickets or train tickets or boat tickets to get to different parts and cities of China. That is fun too. Also, we have movie nights every Sunday. We started this year. So we will watch movies when we finish a family read, like The Railway Children that we just finished, and Pollyanna that we are reading. That's a movie too. A Little Princess. A lot of books have movies. We will do those. And also I asked ChatGPT actually to to suggest movies for me for different history periods, like American Revolutionary War or Civil War, or World War I or II, and it can like give a synopsis of the movies and also group them according to age groups. Like these are suitable for 8 to 12 years old, these for younger teens, these, especially some war movies, it would say this has violence or adult theme, maybe at least high school or up. And then I can build a movie list from there. So we're trying to do something educational and entertaining on our movie night. And I have a list of Chinese movies I want to show them to for culture or history. And some other resources, that's the playlists I saved. This one is Chinese buildings, 20 minutes each. We have been watching, we love that, some history. And after Shakespeare play, we will choose a Shakespeare play to watch on our movie night too. And I wanted to show that's it has more than 300 videos. That's Chinese folk dance or dance from different ethnic groups like Daizu, Mongolzu, so different ethnic groups. They can see the dance and hear the music. So this was a great find. We can see different dress code for different ethnic groups, their dance and music. So we are really enjoying this too. That is like the non-book part of our homeschool. Hope you enjoyed this. If you know any other great resources, I would love you to comment under this video. I would love to see what resources you are loving, you are using in your homeschool. Thank you. Hope you have a good day.